Travelers, listen up. Hidden in the heart of Emilia lies a treasure you must taste. Culatello di Zibello DOP.
People call it the King of Salamis, and, that's a pretty big deal. But this isn't just some marketing slogan. As you're about to find out, this is a reputation that's been earned the hard way, through centuries of pure, hands-on, artisanal perfection.
So what is Culatello di Zibello, really? I mean, sure, it's a cured meat, but that's kind of like saying a Ferrari is just a car. It's made from the absolute best, most prized muscle of a pig's thigh. And yeah, these are the same pigs used for the famous prosciutto di Parma, but trust me, that's pretty much where the similarities stop. All right, to really get what makes this stuff so incredible, we have to go on a little trip. We're heading to a very, very specific corner of the world. Because the real secret to Culatello, it's not just the meat. It is literally in the air. And when I say specific, I mean it. This isn't some friendly suggestion. It's a hard and fast rule, enforced by its very own consortium. You can only make this stuff in 8 specific little towns. That's it. 8. Nowhere else on Earth. And all 8 of those towns? They're nestled in this low-lying, flat area right by the Po River. It's called the Bassa Parmense. This tiny slice of land is the one, the only, home of the real deal. Okay, now this is where things get really cool. The most crucial ingredient here, besides the pork of course, isn't salt, it's not pepper, it's the weather. Yep, the long, cold, super damp, and really, really foggy winters are absolutely essential for the magic to begin. And then, just like that, the climate does a complete 180. It swings to these hot, sticky, humid summers. It's this one-of-a-kind microclimate. This dance between the cold fog and the summer heat that transforms the meat and gives Culatello that unmistakable flavor and aroma you just can't find anywhere else. All right, let's get into how it's actually made, because the process is just as special as the place it comes from. We're not talking about modern factories here. This is pure old-school tradition. I mean, this is the definition of artisanal. Every single step from start to finish is done by hand. It's a skill, a craft, that's been passed down from one master to the next for generations. The craftsmanship is just wow. First, they expertly carve out that prized muscle. Then, it's massaged by hand with a simple mix of salt and pepper. After that, it gets tucked into a natural casing. And then, the tying. It's tied up super tightly by hand into that classic pear shape. And that intricate string pattern? It's not just for looks. It's super important to squeeze out any air pockets and make sure it cures perfectly. And now, for the hardest part. The wait. The Culatello just hangs out in these special, damp cellars for a minimum of 10 months, but often way longer. And during that time, that special climate works its magic. You get these noble molds growing on the outside, which sounds kind of weird, but they're absolutely key to developing that velvety texture and that deep, complex aroma. So this whole amazing process, it's definitely not a new thing. Culatello's reputation as a top-tier delicacy is built on a really, really long and prestigious history. I mean, just how deep do these roots go? We're talking nearly 700 years. There are records of it being served as a fancy gift at a nobleman's wedding way back in 1332. Fast forward to 1735, and the name Culatello is official. By the 1800s, it was so famous that local poets and artists were writing about it. How cool is that? So, for hundreds of years, let's be clear, this was not your everyday food. This was a gift for dukes. It was a delicacy you'd only find on the tables of the richest families in the area. It was literally the talk of the town for famous artists. Its legendary status was built generation by generation. Okay, so that's the history. But why is it still so rare and exclusive today? Well, the answer really comes down to the numbers. And when you see them, it all starts to make sense. Let's put it this way. To really get it, think about its more famous cousin, prosciutto di Parma, right? Prosciutto uses the entire leg, bone and all, and it cures up in the dry, windy hills. Culatello, on the other hand, takes just the best muscle from that same leg, takes the bone out, and cures it down in the foggy, humid lowlands. You end up with 2 totally different things, all because of where and how they're made. So you see, this is not something you can just make more of. The fact that it's all done by hand, that it absolutely needs that one-of-a-kind climate, and that it can only be made in this tiny, tiny area, it means you just can't mass produce it. It's rare because it has to be. And that brings us to the big number. All that work, all that history, all that tradition, it all leads to this. Only around 60,000 of these get the official DOP seal. That's the stamp of authenticity every year for the whole world. That number tells you everything you need to know about its quality and its rarity.
So you bring it all together, right? You've got the winter fog rolling in, the skilled hands of the artisans who've done this their whole lives, and those long, quiet months of waiting in a cellar. Every single piece of the puzzle fits perfectly to create something, well, something truly exceptional.
So, think about it. You have a food that's born from one very specific place on Earth, made using an art form that's been preserved for centuries, and it's defined by just how rare it is. So, is this the ultimate taste of tradition? You know, that's a question that you might just have to taste to answer.
When you come to Emilia, remember, you haven't truly been here unless you've tried Culatello di Zibello. Save this video for your foodie trip, share it with your travel buddies, and tag who you'd bring to taste this royal delicacy.